It's the Mar-a-Lago of North Korea, with lobsters and caviar for dinner and giant private swimming pools. An isolated, sprawling seaside resort, the perfect place to party with your crew of bootlickers. Excuse me, your friends. It's good to be Kim Jong-un. This is only a small glimpse into how Kim Jong-un spent 2020 and 2021. While most of us were stuck at home, the Supreme Leader spent most of his time at his beachfront vacation resort on the Kalma coast near Busan, North Korea. Although media access is limited, we have worked our researching magic and can now proudly present to you the infographic show guide to Kim Jong-un's luxurious life. The resort compound is massive. According to one expert on North Korea, you could fit 6 Mar-a-Lagos in Kim's compound, referring to the 126-room mansion owned by former President Trump. Kim Jong-un's resort encompasses beachfront property on the mainland and a private leisure area on Tae Island in the Sea of Japan. There's also a villa newly built in 2019 on the Hodo Peninsula, located 10 miles across the sea from the main estate. Guests generally arrive via helicopter or jet, landing at the private airstrip at the main property. If guests do arrive by car, there's a private highway for them to use. The estate is so large that a fleet of Mercedes-Benz and a private railway are used to transport guests around. It even has a fairgrounds, a shooting range, amusement park rides, a full-size basketball court, as well as a soccer pitch and a sports stadium. Aside from swimming in multiple swimming pools, both hot and cold, guests can sunbathe on the beach, which is combed frequently. In October of 2020, a large 130-foot inflatable 3-lane water slide was temporarily installed on Kim's private beach in Wonsan, just days after he shed tears about economic difficulties in the speech broadcast by state media. In the same speech, Kim ordered North Korean citizens to take part in a nationwide 80-day labor productivity marathon to complete key state projects. If guests don't want to hang about on the beach, they can visit the private marina. Several luxury yachts are frequently moored there, including Kim's 95-foot yacht nicknamed Princess. This yacht boasts 2 staterooms, a wide deck, and a dining room for up to 10 people. It's often used for business, such as Kim touring the east coast of North Korea. The manufacturer of Kim's yacht, Princess Yachts, is owned by LVMH, the French luxury goods group. While it's not known what amenities in particular are on Kim's yacht, the estimated cost to purchase the yacht in 2013 was over $7 million. He also keeps several smaller luxury yachts to use for leisure and also transportation to his Hodo Peninsula villa. Kim has a luxury barge specifically for entertaining guests. His party boat is 260 feet long and decked out with twin twisting water slides, an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and a multi-story lounge with an observation deck. It's been described in the media as a floating amusement park. In 2020, Kim's party boat underwent a complete renovation. This was not long after he gave a speech at the beginning of the year warning ordinary North Koreans to prepare for more economic hardships. Jet skiing, motorboating, or water skiing is also available for guests. If none of these activities catch a guest's fancy, they can use one of the luxurious yachts to travel to Tae Island and have a picnic lunch on the beach. Of course, the meals served at Kim's vacation home are exquisite. Any meal at the resort, including picnics, is served on fine china, and the drinks in crystal glasses. The servants are highly trained to cater to any whim a guest might have. Lobster, caviar, the finest champagne, cognac, and other expensive liquors are on the menu, as well as fancy coffee, chocolates, and cheeses, including Kim Jong-un's favorite Swiss cheese. While the specifics of meals served aren't known, in 2016 alone, Kim splurged $1 million on imported booze and $86,000 on Swiss cheese. Kim has been known to smoke expensive French cigarettes made by famed fashion designer Yves Saint Laurent, costing around $55 a pack. This all happened the same year when a UN report found that 71% of North Koreans relied on government food handouts, amounting to just 10 ounces of food a day. In July of 2016, Switzerland halted imports to North Korea in compliance with UN sanctions. However, it's hard to know exactly how much UN sanctions have affected Kim's access to luxury goods, as he has sophisticated and covert ways of purchasing goods via third parties, cryptocurrency, and the black market. Near the mansion on the mainland property, there are several smaller villas so that guests may retain their privacy. Each room in all of the resort buildings are decorated with expensive antiques, designer furniture, and works of art. Granted, we don't know exactly what kinds of magnificent art pieces are on display, since the media has not been allowed inside, but given Kim's predisposition for luxury, we're sure the decorations in the resort meet his exacting standards. The entire estate, including the Hodo Peninsula Villa, is guarded by North Korean troops. Kim often stays at the recently built Hodo Peninsula Villa compound when he's observing a missile launch. Since the 1960s, the Hodo Peninsula has been used as a training area for live fire testing and training exercises for artillery. For the past 10 years, the area has been increasingly used for testing ballistic missiles, such as the KN-0, and long-range artillery rocket testing, such as the 300mm multiple rocket launcher. But then again, Kim's Hodo Villa does have a private beach and dock for his yachts, so it's not all serious business at the location. Sometimes he goes back and forth between staying at the Hodo Villa and staying at the mainland Kalma Resort, which is a leisure leisure boat ride away. Kim hosts top North Korean officials and officials from China at his luxury resort. Other visitors have included a British diplomat and a few American sports stars. Former basketball player Dennis Rodman once called Kim's retreat a 7-star resort. It was like going to Hawaii or Ibiza, he said, but Kim's the only one that lives there. Everything you want, he has the best. So, how did Rodman end up visiting North Korea? In 2012, Vice Media decided to make a program on North Korea and wanted access to Kim Jong-un, who had recently taken over after his father Kim Jong-il passed away. They realized if they could have a celebrity guest accompany them, they might get a meeting with the new supreme leader. Knowing Kim had become a huge basketball fan and especially a Chicago Bulls fan during his time overseas in boarding school, Vice reached out to Michael Jordan to see if he'd be interested in accompanying them to North Korea. Jordan declined, but famed Bulls rebounder and wild child Dennis Rodman was intrigued by the paid basketball diplomacy mission. Pyongyang, upon hearing that a Bulls player would come, okayed the trip. In February of 2013, Dennis, 3 members of the Harlem Globetrotters, several handlers, and the Vice Media crew went on an epic trip to North Korea. The trip ended up going well. The basketball players participated in exhibitions and played with North Korean players. Dennis became friends with the dictator, so much so that he's gone back to North Korea 4 more times, even bringing other former NBA players with him. Supposedly, he's helping Kim set up a basketball league. On each trip, they spend some time at Kim's seaside resort. Many feel that Dennis's friendship with Kim has had a positive effect on North Korea and U.S. relations. It's said that one of Dennis's favorite reasons for visiting Kim is the ongoing party that frequently accompanies him. Like his grandfather and his father before him, Kim keeps a kippumjo, or a pleasure squad. The job of this harem of fawning girls is to entertain Kim and his cronies. The members of the squad are separated into different units. There's a singing unit, dancing unit, and a unit devoted to hosting. The job of the host is to flirt at events, give massages, and allegedly perform sex acts to keep the guests happy. Some of the 2,000 young women in the squad are as young as 13 and were selected directly out of school. A defector from North Korea who was once a part of the squad says that the girls chosen for the squad are made to undergo invasive medical tests to confirm that they are virgins. In 2016, Kim spent $3.5 million on lingerie and costumes, including corsets and suspenders imported from China for his harem. The Kamla Resort isn't Kim's only vacation home. Kim has 17 different secluded villas scattered across North Korea, as well as lavish mansion in the heart of the capital, Pyongyang, and those are the properties that we know about. Kim has so many properties that he doesn't visit them for years at a time. Kim's main home in Pyongyang is huge, 4.6 square miles. It's known as the Ryongsan Residence and has an Olympic-sized swimming pool with a giant water slide, banquet facilities, a running track and athletics field, a shooting range, and stables. The palace is nuclear blast-proof, surrounded by minefields and a high-voltage electric fence. The grounds are constantly patrolled by military units with dogs. To travel the country and between its properties, Kim has an Air Force Un, a luxury Russian IL-62 jetliner worth millions. Kim also has a 100-strong fleet of predominantly European luxury cars, including 2 armored Mercedes-Maybach limousines, worth close to $1 million each. Sometimes, Kim uses an armored train to travel between his residences. In fact, Ryongsan Residence has its own train station underneath and has tunnels connecting it to some of his other properties. Allegedly, Kim's train is staffed by lady conductors picked from his pleasure squad. Beyond all the luxury items, probably the most outrageous thing Kim owns is a monument. In Ryanggang Province, built on the side of a mountain in 65-foot-high characters, is an 1,800-foot propaganda slogan extolling the virtues of the supreme leader. It reads, "Long live General Kim Jong-un, the shining sun." The message is visible from space. Even while the country went through an economic recession, the government continued to prioritize strategic weapons development, leading the UN Security Council maintaining their severe economic sanctions. Pyongyang also continued to work, albeit at a slower pace, on Kim's vanity projects such as a beachfront recreational area near Busan designed to be a tourism spot for the societal elite. In August of 2021, Kim reportedly demanded that the U.S. lift sanctions on importing high-class alcohol and luxury suits before denuclearization talks can resume. In a briefing to politicians, the head of South Korea's National Intelligence Service, Park Ji-won, explained that North Korea's demand for access to luxuries was not just for Kim Jong-un's own consumption, but to distribute to Pyongyang's elite. It seems like being a bootlicker pays off. What's inside North Korea's secret room 39? Is Kim Jong-un the only one who knows? Click here for our guesses.